Good morning, story trading VIPs. Man, did we have an awesome day yesterday. It's like day after day after day. 90% of our predictions are coming true. Not only that, but our swing targets very often are hitting same day or next day. It's just been unbelievable. This morning, look at the macro, QQQ, SPY, all up. Now, we had some data this morning. Retail sales came in a little bit soft, but PPI, the wholesale inflation number, wholesale prices, came in much lower than expected. As a result, that means expectations that the Fed are going to raise go down. This is why you see TLT up and UUP down. That's what's really important here. Yes, there are now recession concerns probably with the retail sales coming in a little bit lighter than expected. But first of all, the bond market, smarter than the stock market, especially in pre-market, gives you a good signal. So when you see TLT up and UUP down, lower interest rates, that's really good for risk assets. And we can see a continuation of the rally in risk assets until the next data point, right? We have Netflix, big tech earnings start tomorrow. Netflix Thursday after the close. I don't particularly have any bad forecast for Netflix. In fact, they've made a lot of changes with their pricing that I think will bode well for them. So we'll see if that's going to be the catalyst to end the bear market rally, or it may have to go into next week when we have other big tech earnings. But at some point, this rally, I believe, will get exhausted. It feels like it's starting to get exhausted because of the price action in a lot of risk assets. Here's one right here, on track up 80%. You see that here. And there's a lot of things like that just going crazy lately. And when the lowest quality stocks are having huge days like that, it's often near the tail end of the rally. So be careful. But for today, with UUP down 0.5%, I feel good about risk on and risk assets. And maybe we get another day or two until we really kick into earnings season. So we got to watch this. As far as, let's just look at the levels on the QQQ. It's right in between the 50 and the 200. Let's look at the weeklies. Weekly, it's starting to break above. I mean, this continues to look good for now, man. Is it possible we see a continuation of this for another couple weeks? It is. So we'll just have to play it by ear and wait for a reversal on a catalyst that is real, right? On data that's real, that can change sentiment. And that's what's going to impact the price. And that's when we're going to change your mind. Okay. So going into now some specific stocks. Did we ever nail Tesla? It's reached now swing target number 2. We said it here last week. Last Friday, as this thing opened at 115, we're like bullish Tesla because of the drop in prices, whereas a lot of other people thought, hey, that's bearish. We did our homework and we said that's bullish Tesla. We set 3 price targets. I forgot the first one, around I think it was 127.50 was the first one. We hit it. 135 was the next one. We hit it. I've been scaling out as we're going up. The next price target is 150. It seems crazy, right? It seems like, what? Like, how could we get there? You can see the bottom of the resistance right here. The previous support near 150 and the declining 50 moving average moving to 150. And they also have earnings. So the risk goes up as the stock goes higher. So you got to be careful with this. That's why I'm taking some off the table, but I would not be surprised at all to see 150 before earnings. So that's continuing to work out great. Now, ACHR, putting this as a swing trade last night. I think this already was a swing trade, but now the urgency has increased a little bit. This is a EVTOL stock. It's electric vehicle takeoff and landing. Okay, it's basically electric airplanes, and this has been on our radar because we did have LILM on our watch list, but then Julian told us about ACHR, also in the same space, but they had a deal a couple weeks ago. Stellantis, a strategic funding deal with Stellantis, which really backs them financially, and they're not going to really need to raise capital on bad terms in the open market. Now they have this great partner. That's what caused the stock to go up, break the 50 DMA. But then last night we had basically all the senior executives doing inside purchases. I think it was like a total of 100,000 shares or something like that. So at this point, we're stacking the catalyst. We're between the 50 and the 200 DMA. So I give you 2 targets. $3. You can see the resistance here prior at $3. And then 200 DMA, $3.25. I really, really like this. I picked some up in after hours at $2.70 last night. I'm hoping that this pulls back in the morning, or maybe even here. I don't know. That's a big gap, but somewhere, between $2.70 and $2.80 would probably be a nice spot. But even if you have to pay up, I think the chances we get a $3 to $3.25 are very, very high with ACHR. I'm just going to go through LILM Could this potentially be a sympathy play? The fundamentals not as good. They don't have Stellantis. This is also in the electric vehicle takeoff and landing space, electric vehicles. It's right at the 50 DMA. Again, the fundamentals and the catalyst not as good, but if people are watching their peers take off, maybe this can break the 50 DMA. So I don't like this as much. I don't love Me Too plays or sympathy plays, but I will be watching this for a possible play just for intraday only. American Airlines, this has been a swing for us based on the pre-announcement of earnings. We gave you two targets, $18 and $19.50. It's continuing this morning because United Airlines reported last night with good earnings. I believe American Airlines reports their earnings in another week or two. So this one's still looking good. Risk goes up as it goes up. So you have to decide for yourself if you want to be in this. But 18 and 1950, the targets for American Airlines, still a swing play. SMSI, today at 4:30, we have a meeting. It's not going to be recorded with Brian P. He used to be an active member of our community, but he's no longer in our chat rooms, but we keep in touch with him. And he's going to download us on all the recent market research has done on SMSI. Jumped on this yesterday, at least I did. We jumped on it on the show. Right at the tail end of the show at 9:26, we saw this news come out that they've have a new contract with the tier 1 that's going to be very good for their economics. So I jumped on that. We put a couple targets on this yesterday. I forgot exactly where they were, so we'll have to look at it again here. Probably 350 and 425-ish, something like that at the 200 DMA are the swing targets. So yesterday was really, really nice. I was able to jump on it 291 and did a little bit of trading in here, and I'm back long overnight. So that's SMSI. Looking forward to the talk with Brian today at 4:30. XXII, this one, so it's moving along with all the other risk assets, but there was some news that is on social media, and I can't independently verify it, but there's apparently Craig Hallam did a phone call yesterday, and maybe there's a note out on it, but basically they're saying their penetration of the cigarettes is now approximately 1.5%. The last we heard from the company was 1%. So penetration's up to 1.5%, and they said they're looking for meteoric growth. I can't even say it. Meteoric. How do you say that? Meteoric growth. You know what I'm saying. They're looking for explosive growth in 2023 for XXII. So that's a very bullish note from Craig Hallam. If true, so I'm putting a couple swing targets on this, 125 and 150. This is already my third largest position. I'm probably not going to add swing shares, but I'm happy watching this go up. So XXII, there's another swing trade idea for you on the back of this Hallam note. And by the way, that was also because we had a press release from XXII qualitatively talking about the build out of the VLN cigarettes going really good. So that's the news on XXII. Talk, I put this in as one of my picks for trade of the week on Wolf Spaces last night. I've been as I was giving the pitch last night, I was selling myself. I'm like, man, I'm going to buy my own pitch. So I think I may buy more this morning. I mean, let me spend just a couple minutes on this. This is a digital health space. Let me show you a couple other stocks in the digital health space. On Track this morning, garbage company with a PR that I don't know that it's worth a lot. The stock's up from 30 cents to over $1. All right. DRIO, really good company in the digital health space, basically doubled in the last month. Then we have Talk, which has not done anything. It has not had its risk asset move yet. Every other risk asset hasn't moved, but Talk had a huge catalyst at JP Morgan last week. I mean, the text of which is in the DRIO room, in our chat rooms, and in the VIP research room. We went over this, but extremely, extremely bullish comments about them going profitable this year, not only with cash on hand, but also leaving them with significant cash to do other things with. We're talking about a risk asset flipping to profitability, trading at a negative EV. Are you kidding me? I'm starting to think this may be one of my highest conviction picks right now. Okay, we're trying to reach out to management to get them to speak to us, but this has not moved yet. It's going to have its turn. When you're in a mega trend, every stock gets its turn. Okay, so I think Talk is going to have its turn. It's going to be found. The targets here at 90 cents is the first resistance. Second resistance, maybe you get a little bit of psychological resistance at $1. Then you have $1.22, $1.25 at the 200 DMA. That's for Talk. All right. DRIO, my biggest position. I hardly ever talk about it because I never traded. I'm just holding it. It's just worth noting this tremendous move it's had. And this move is very meaningful here. It's back above where it was. You have this December correction because tax loss selling. Well, it's made up all that and then some. So they were at JP Morgan last week, and I don't know. I think something's going on. Something may have leaked. They're above the 50-week moving average. We're waiting for 770, maybe resistance, 715, something like that, and then ultimately 200 DMA and $9. We're waiting for Aetna to launch. We're waiting for a new strategic partner to be announced as they've teased. We're waiting for Sanofi to invest as they've teased. So a lot of huge, gigantic catalysts coming for DRIO. Look at this on 2050 bullish cross on the daily. I'm not advising anyone to buy it up here. I've been holding this. I accumulated a lot down on the fours, so I'm not trading it, but very excited about that. Clearfield, finally, after getting clobbered forever, they finally came out with a PR addressing supply chain, saying it's no problem for them. We think they're going to crush earnings in a couple weeks. So it's been hurting short term, but I think we're going to make out really, really well when earnings comes. And today, maybe that PR will be enough to get it back going in the right direction. We're watching SPRC. I'm not going to talk about these much. These are stocks, lower quality stocks I don't know much about, just pointing out some relative strength with SPRC. There was some news this morning. Kazoo, CZOO, had some news this morning that can spark a little bit of a move. They talked about restructuring in order that they won't need to raise cash for the next 18 to 24 months so they can get to profitability. AIAD, another kind of penny stock with really good news this flow positive in Q1 2023. Wow, that's interesting. So AIAD, something to look at. LLAP, we've been playing this like a fiddle like the last few days. Unbelievable. This has been a swing play with the $2 target. It hit $1.99 yesterday. I think it's going to flirt with $2 again today. Actually did in pre-market. So this is something I may be looking to trade intraday to buy on the pullbacks and sell as it approaches $2 again. If it breaks out at $2, it could go. So very interesting. LLAP, that's backed by Lockheed Martin. Strong catalysts and fundamentals there with Lockheed Martin behind them. CVV, talked to management yesterday. We gave you the updates in the VIP research room. LUCD, we gave you got in at 140 yesterday with a 170 target. It hit 170 and then some in after hours last night. And that's it. I got out like 150 to 155. I didn't hit that. You get into the 180s yesterday, but I didn't like the news. They had it was event anticipation run yesterday afternoon into the business update. I read the business update, not so impressed. They're reducing costs. So what? So I think that may be played out. It hit that 50 DMA in after hours. May it hit it first thing in the morning? It might, but I'm not interested in LUCD anymore. AIRG, still a swing trade. 200 DMA targeted $8 based on that catalyst that came out with Deutsche Telekom, I believe it was. A big deal for a small company. HYRE had some news this morning. I don't follow closely, but a couple people in a room, Niraj and Randy were talking about it, that a big fund took a big stake, like 7% or something, just releasing some filing. They were buying in December and January, so that's why you see the stock moving up 9% this morning. Could this make a move to the 200 DMA, 90 cents? It could. Every other risk asset seems to be breaking one DMA and heading to the next one in a swing time frame, so very possible for HYRE. I'm still holding Geo, nice chart. I'm still shorting Bed Bath & Beyond with puts, which is not working out for me. And with that, let's bring on Vegas. Here we go. There you go, Vegas from I Love Stocks. How you doing this morning?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Doing great, and loved everything you were talking about. Loving this XXII. I just want to comment quickly on this one here, that the balance sheet's really nice. I took a look at the balance sheet from their last earnings report, and they had cash on hand, 43.7 million in cash, and I like that for these penny stocks when they have cash. And the other thing too is when I look at the weekly chart, this has a new uptrend. And so, when I called Mara a couple weeks ago and that did really had a nice move, I spotted an uptrend on the chart. So, I'm looking at this chart here and this has a new uptrend. And I love stocks that, no pun intended, that have a new uptrend because I'm looking for a move to the upside. And this is looking really beautiful. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised to see this eventually head to like 120 and 163 is what I'm seeing next. So looking forward to seeing the action here. When there's a new uptrend, you should be definitely keeping these on your watch list to monitor price action, because new uptrends are a signal for a potential move up. So definitely liking this chart and love the price action. XXII has options too. So I'll be looking at some options, long term, maybe like April. And I'm going to look at the $1 calls because I want to be in the money. And those were pretty cheap. So those were around 30 cents yesterday at the close. So I'm going to look to get some of those for April. Cool. And we'll see how it plays out. So,
well, we are on the same page. Your target's very similar to mine. You're 120, 163. I have 125 to 150. This is my third largest position. I have call options from a while ago, which I'm under on. So hopefully those will catch up. But glad to see we're on the same page with XXII. What else you got cooking?
Well, I've been watching here. We had the PPI data come out, so I'm going to be watching the markets. I want to see if the SPY can get over 400 today. 400.05 actually is what I want to see. I want to see a move to the upside. Still loving Tesla for a swing trade. Tesla looks really good. And,
I talked about that this morning. But man, we nailed it yesterday, right?
Oh my God, we're like in twins. Yeah. And, Tesla
we nailed
looks
it yesterday.
Really good. Oh my gosh.
What's your next target on this? I got 150 as a possibility. What do you got?
Yeah. So I got the same target as you, but for today in particular, looking for this to go towards like 138.50, 140, 142.75. So that's kind of what I'm seeing for today. Another good one that I'm watching as well. I try to mention swing trades in here for your community. Another one that I like was one called RIG, RIG. This is a Transocean Limited. This is more of an oil, kind of an oil play. But the reason I like this one too, the weekly chart was nice. Price action on the tape this morning was good. Like people are buying this with size. This has had a nice 52-week high and also a expansion breakout. So whenever I see a stock 52-week highs, but has an expansion breakout on the chart, then this is good at getting ready for a move. So like my stop loss on something, and this is a swing trade. So like my stop loss on this one would be like 562, which is the 3 EMA. So kind of a tighter stop, but I could see this going to like 750, 739, 750. So this has a nice move, nice price action, even pre-market, like in this tape. So there's buyers here. So
the big short interest, I might note out, 18% of the float.
Well, there you go. So we'd love to squeeze these shorts, especially in a 52-week high. So definitely want to see some fireworks maybe on this one as a swing trade. So definitely those are my two picks. Like I like RIG, I love XXII, I love Tesla. And keeping a watch. Also, the TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor, I do like it also for a swing trade. Yeah, that one had I think the earnings are done. And so this one to watch, and my target on this one's like $95. So, it's going to take some time.
I'm with you there.
Looks good. And the last one I just want to mention quickly is PRTY, PRTY. This is a penny stock. This is like a risky bankruptcy play for me. I'm just mentioning it because I did post it on my social media. So if you guys recall, like BBBY mentioned the bankruptcy protection. And as you notice normally, like with penny stocks or stocks under $5, like, if they have bankruptcy mentions or bankruptcy protection, next thing you know, like the stock starts to rip and go bonkers. So there's no real explanation. Like, why does this happen? I have no idea. I'd love to know. If somebody knows, please contact us and let us know. I'd love to know why they pop. But so I do like PRTY, PRTY. I don't have a current position. Definitely going to look to take a swing trade, because I want to see where this can go. My stop loss will be like down towards like 20 cents. So I'm going to risk like 20 cents, per share to make money on this trade. So we'll see how this plays out. But, PRTY usually, bankruptcy stocks, they can sometimes move significantly. I don't want to say the words that I don't want to mislead anyone and say all these crazy numbers and targets.
Yeah.
But I will say just something to watch because they can move quite well. So, the thing is with these trades, these are swing trades. You have to make sure if you're trading them during the day, have a stop loss because you don't want it to suddenly knife on you. And then you're like, oh my God, I lost all this money. So have a stop loss in your trade, especially on a stock like penny stock, like PRTY. You don't want to get hurt on that stock, but definitely I'm liking it because I love the risk reward. But of course I have a trade plan and a stop loss. And so looking to see how this plays out. So that's another swing trade.
Sounds good. With the 1 minute we have left, I just want to bring ACHR to your attention. You missed it early in the show. maybe get your feedback. We like this because there's been some stacked catalysts. They had a big financial partner announced a couple weeks ago, and it's been rocketing. Then last night, a series of insider buys from basically every executive, CEO, CFO, etc. It's gapping up this morning. I have a $3 and then $3.25 swing target on it, which might hit today or tomorrow. Just want your quick take on the chart here.
What's it called? HR? Healthcare?
ACHR.
Oh, sorry. ACH. I was like, oh, let me see. Oh, yeah,
electric
yeah.
airplane. It's an electric airplane company.
AC. Oh my God. Sometimes my hearing's not the best. I'm like, am I going deaf? So ACHR, Archer Aviation. They did have that rally right after the Stellantis investment created some buzz. I love this chart because it has an expansion break. What is your target on this one?
$3 and then $3.25.
You know what? ACHR. I'll tell you really quick before we wrap up. Yeah, you know what? You could see 325 is the pivot, and actually 328. And then if that breaks, I could see it's going to like 390 and then 442. And then, 509. So this has good potential, especially like expansion breakout. Like I love expansion breaks because it's ready to make a move as well. So this is a very nice swing trade. I like it as long as it doesn't get under what's it trading at now? ACHR
283.
Yeah, so as long as it doesn't get under like 237 for me, that's like the 8 EMAs, kind of like where I like to draw my line in the sand here. So that would be like my stop loss for me, but it's trading well above that by like almost 50 cents.
You got patience.
Yeah,
you know
why? Because I don't like to close a chart when it's not broken. So as long as the 8 EMA 21 are good, and these two mirror, like they're beautiful together actually. It's not a broken chart. It's a great swing trade, beautiful setup, and look forward to seeing what this is gonna do. So it looks really nice.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate your time, Vegas. And you guys can follow her, I Love Stocks 1 on Twitter.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Thanks. Take care.